And welcome to another episode of Becca's Talking, where every Tuesday we release a brand new podcast. And this week I got one with a good friend I have known for years, and a man that has threatened to kick my butt many times.
It's funny how you always seem to get me in all these on these different platforms. Give me a call and say, "Oh, come here," and I just end up coming anyway.
Yeah, you are. And we're going to get to all of this in a second, but I got to do an ad first.
Okay.
Havana Garage is sponsoring the Becca's Talking podcast. Havana Garage in the Old Market. You know, yeah, it's known for its cigars, and Lord knows they've got an incredible humidor. Incredible humidor. But even if you don't smoke cigars, even if you're not a cigar smoker, you're going to enjoy the atmosphere. They got a great selection of alcohol. Whiskeys and mixed cocktails, and then they've also got that vibe that.
What's funny? I don't smoke cigars, but I love the smell of cigars, and I love being around cigar smell.
Even
though I don't smoke cigars.
No, you're right. There is a nice aroma to it and everything, and that's what you get at Havana Garage. Plus, like I said, the Rat Pack atmosphere and everything, and just a good place to go. Maybe after work for a happy hour, or maybe you got a big weekend plan. You don't have dinner in the Old Market. Maybe a concert down at the CHI Center, the Holland Center, or something, or maybe you got one of the plays that's coming up to the Orpheum. Stop by and make a night of it. Stop by Havana Garage in the Old Market. So, this man here, I've told you this story many times, but I haven't told them.
Okay, we haven't told the podcast.
I haven't told the podcast people. So, I first became aware of Houston Alexander when I was actually with some friends, and the TV was on, and you were getting ready to fight. On
television.
On television, yeah, on television, not the bar. It was on the bar. It was on TV.
Let's get that straight.
On TV. So I look up, and I see this angry black man with a Nebraska hat on it, and I'm just thinking, oh man, is that an image we want? I mean,
are you going to give it? You can give me the angry black man. But here's
the thing. Because you're not, and that's the thing about it, which I find I want to talk to you about that because when you're in the ring, and I've seen you fight in person, and I've seen you fight on TV, when you're in the ring, you are.
No, that's a whole different atmosphere.
I know, but just in real life, you're one of the nicest people and a mentor. We're going to talk about all the good things you do for the community.
Yeah,
which you wouldn't expect from a guy who
fights for a living.
Yeah, who fights for a living.
What? Some of the nicest guys, man, that fight, some of the people that fight are some of the nicest guys because I think it's the discipline that you have to have when you're doing, mixed martial arts. And that's one thing that's I've been taught over the years with mixed martial arts, along with my mother, who was one of the first mixed martial artists to lay hands on me.
She was the first one to kick your ass.
Yeah. She was the first mixed martial artist I went up against. But it's home training, man, and on top of that, the discipline of being MMA.
Let me ask you. Okay, you say mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Is that different than ultimate fighting, or are they basically just the same thing, different names?
It was weird, and I hate when people say, "Hey, man, you're a UFC fighter." No, the UFC is the organization. Ultimate Fighting Championship is the organization that you fight for. What we do is MMA, mixed martial arts. So you can wrestle, you can do jiu-jitsu, you can box. You mix all those different elements of fighting to win. Okay. So what we do is MMA. The organization is the UFC or any organization you just happen to be fighting for at the time.
Because you were fighting for, and I forget the name of it now. Right now, it's
UFC. I fought for a few organizations: Bellator, UFC.
Yeah.
And right now, even now, I'm fighting with a bare knuckle fighting championship. So I'm doing the bare knuckle.
Okay. Why? I mean,
it's easy. It's easy. Time is easy. It's easy. It's easy. It's easier than doing MMA because it's just boxing with no gloves. Easy. And I've been training my hands for the past 20 years to take the abuse. So, it was just something that was asked to do.
Well, that's what I mean. Why in the first place would you even want to do this? And I'll admit, I've gone to boxing matches.
Yeah.
I've gone to, mixed martial arts events and that. And I'll admit that, as a spectator, I enjoy it, okay?
Of course.
But there's never, even in my dumb, youthful days, have I ever thought, boy, I'd like to get in there and just have the snot kicked out of me.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, it's again. I think sometime when you're an athlete and you maybe you're a professional football player or a baseball player, or sometime when those guys are done retired. They still have that drive, that sports drive in them, and they want to end up doing something. So you got a lot of athletes who end up doing mixed martial arts because it's something they still can do and it's obtainable, and they until they get that fierce sportsmanship out of them, man. You know what I'm saying? So with me, I've always had it in me. So it's just I just needed the discipline to do it. So and the bare knuckle right now is something I'm still having me, and I still can't get it out of me.
Okay, so how old were you when you first started?
29.
29.
Yep, 29.
Okay, and you're now how old are you now?
52.
So you've been doing this a while.
Yeah, for over 20 years, close to
30,
yeah. Yeah, so it's been and one thing about
over 20 years. Yeah.
One thing about the mixed martial arts, or being involved with it, is staying in shape, keeping your mind sharp and staying in shape. So and then I don't have a lot of damage. A lot of people they have a lot of damage when they've been fighting over the years, and I've been one of the few lucky people that's actually who's taking care of themselves internally and externally.
Okay, and how long can you do this? Now, is the bare knuckle just because the MMA is maybe too much strain on your body?
MMA, you got to kick. You're doing elbows. You're getting takedowns. You're doing jiu-jitsu. You're doing a little bit of everything. With bare knuckle, you're just boxing. You're just basically boxing without gloves. And the whole object of any game is to not get hit. And I just been fortunate. I just been fortunate, man.
That's my motto in life, actually.
Yeah,
don't get hit. I have a tattoo on my arm. Yeah. Don't get hit.
Get hit.
Don't get hit. Okay, so like you said, so you're 52.
Yeah.
What do you think when you see like the Mike Tyson fight, and then Jake Paul?
Well, see, and I've talked about this before. It was scripted. Obviously because this guy basically paid Mike Tyson $20 million for clout. Hey, Mike, I want to use some of your clout. And I'm a young man. I want to use some of your clout to excel in life. Here's $20 million. That's all he did, because Mike didn't throw any punches at him.
Yeah.
So it was scripted, and what they did, the build up was cool. But I think when he stepped on the old guy's toe, that was real. You see how fast he slapped him.
Yeah.
He stepped on the old guy's foot, and he got slapped. That was real. After that was fake.
I agree with you about the scripted thing and everything, and that. But at the same time, there was that hype and that excitement. I remember being a kid growing up, during the Muhammad Ali era.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, seeing Ron Stander fight Joe Frazier here at Civic, and there was always that hype. The Howard Cosell would be interviewing.
But see, that was real. You know what I'm saying? That was real. We're in the internet era where everything is is pretty much staged. You know what I'm saying? From you taking photographs, you taking videos of yourself. Everything is staged, and it's staged on the internet. So it's not like back then when it was a treat. To see these athletes. Right now, every athlete has a podcast. Everybody's, doing this and everybody's doing that, but everything's staged. So there's no mystique behind any of the things no more.
But even before the internet, whenever there was the weigh-in, there was always the dirty look each fighter gave each other, and somebody would throw a punch, and then you'd have to get, the trainers in the middle to break it up and everything. That's always been part of it.
I've never been that mad at somebody. I never took it personal unless I didn't really like anybody. That staged look at, looking at somebody next, that's cool. But see, it works for some people, but it also doesn't work for some people. Me, I get in there. It's a job for me. But, when you got a guy like Conor McGregor who sells the fight, he talks a lot of crap, but then when he's getting his butt whooped, you know what I'm saying? And he's in the ring talking like, the last fight he had with Khabib. He said, it's only business. No, you said a lot of stuff to this guy before the fight, and he really doesn't like you. So it's not just business for him. He's whooping your butt in the ring.
Okay, so how do you get that look, that fire in your belly before a match, because like I said, you and I've joked around for years, and yet, but when I see you on, getting ready for a fight, I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Hey, you know what? I'm imagining, and again, sometimes you got to build it up and make things up in your head. So when I'm looking across the guy from the ring, I used to imagine this guy wants to harm my kids. And that's the last thing a parent wants, is for anybody to harm your children. So that's when I look at it, like right now, if I looked at you and thinking you were going to harm my kids, I'd probably bite your nose off.
I've never met your kids. I wouldn't know them if I saw them on the street. I have nothing against your kids.
Biting of your nose.
Yeah, remember I said he was a nice guy, and then he's trying to bite my nose off. Yeah.
I have a vivid imagination.
Security. So that you just did that image of that, and you got a few kids, don't you?
Yeah, and again, I've given my daughter, my oldest daughter, and you wouldn't believe right now, my oldest daughter is 32 years old. She's and what's so interesting about my oldest daughter, I gave her a kidney. Because she had a condition when she was younger, when she was born, and they knew eventually she was going to need a kidney, and I was damn near a match, well, a twin, so I ended up giving her a kidney, and right now, the same hospital that gave her my kidney, she works as a pre-nurse or something. What is she's not a full nurse yet.
So maybe sort of a nursing assistant.
So
like that
same hospital where she got her kidney. Because growing up, she knew more about all the medical things that were happening to her than a lot of people that were around her. So now she's practicing to be a nurse right now.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You are a mixed martial art fighter who is now doing bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah.
With one kidney.
Yeah.
I'm sure your doctor must love that.
Well, no, they don't get hit. Don't get hit. Don't damage the kidney. And again, I just been really cautious, and been really lucky over the years, and blessed.
Yeah. Now I know that, in boxing, the rules of that, you can't hit under the belt and all that stuff. With mixed martial arts, is it pretty much anything goes, or
no? There's rules to everything. You obviously you can't hit below the belt. I believe they just implemented a rule. I guess that's UFC standards where you can come down with the elbow now. When back when I was fighting with the UFC, you couldn't come down with the elbow. Right now you can.
Yeah.
But there's certain parameters you can't cross. Obviously.
Back when you were fighting with UFC too, didn't you have a video game?
Yeah, man. There's a couple of cool things came out of that. I ended up being on a video game. I ended up having my own action figure. But let you tell it. My kids call it a doll. Yeah, I got just a lot of cool things came out of it. But I think the one thing I'm glad that came out of it that we kind of ushered in the other fighters who came after us from this area. That was kind of cool to represent, the city and state where we're from and region where we were from, and especially the people that came after us. We just gave them a sense of pride to actually pursue, that level of fighting. A lot of guys who came under me, Ryan Jensen, he's probably one of the best guys coming out here. Jason Brills. We had a lot of guys. Anthony Smith, who's currently fighting in the UFC right now. We had a lot of great guys who came before us and after us, and I'm glad we just kind of set the bar.
I can imagine if I was ever put in a video game.
It was cool.
I'd never leave the house.
They put all the stuff on me. It was cool. But what I was mad about is that when I went to go do it, instead of having the goatee, I had to cut my mustache off. So I didn't have the Houston Alexander goatee in the video game. I was like, oh man, I had the shaved lip. In the video game, I was like, man.
Okay, so you mentioned your kids, and now we're going to segue into what you're doing now. Besides, punching other guys in the face. No, real quick before I go into that, when you right now with the bare knuckle or even with the MMA, you say you're 52 years old.
Yeah.
Are you fighting guys that are like 45 plus? Or are you fighting? Fighting guys that are 25?
Well, but the last guy I fought was he was late 20s, but he ended up, I ended up handling that business because I'm 4-0. Actually, I'm undefeated and ranked first in the light heavyweight division and fifth in the heavyweight division. So I'm not doing too bad for a 52-year-old man.
Is that also through Bellator, or who's that?
No, that's up with the ranking of the bare knuckle. So I'm ranked 1 in the world.
They have their own.
They got their own ranking system, but I'm ranked number 1 in their division.
That's very cool.
So, again, you got to take care of yourself.
How long are you going to keep doing this?
Man, to me, it's just a hobby. It's one of those things that I'm getting paid. It's cool, but it just keeps me in shape, and it just again keeps me sharp because you don't want to be sitting around watching TV and then getting the old beer belly. So
hey, I'm right here. I can hear you.
Oh, excuse me. They got treadmill, sir. You can drink beer and get on the treadmill at the same time. But I just enjoy doing it, and it's just a hobby to me.
All right. I want to talk about what you're doing with kids and everything in a second. But first, I want to remind people it's brought to you by Havana Garage. And like Houston said, he doesn't smoke cigars. He enjoys the aroma.
Yeah,
Havana Garage.
That's a very serious statement. You don't have to smoke cigars to enjoy the aroma. You know what I'm saying? Or the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just picture sitting on a beach with your hat on and it's the Havana thing, theme. So I've been there before.
Oh yeah.
So it's actually pretty good atmosphere.
Oh yeah, I myself have been there too. You may find that hard to believe. Yes.
Oh really?
Yes. Having a beer, smoking a cigar, and just not working out.
Oh, okay. Well, hey.
But anyway, regardless, go and stop by and check it out. Tell them you heard about it on the Vegas Talking podcast. Good people there. It's a good establishment. Havana Garage in the Old Market.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that when you get ready for a fight, you just think about the opponent trying to hurt your kids.
Trying to
hurt your kids.
Yeah, that's the psych up.
Okay, and that's what gets your mindset to say like, this guy's going down.
I'm gonna tear your head off.
You're very proactive in working with kids, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I've been doing stuff in my community ever since I was 13. So I've been active with we're working with the Boys and Girls Clubs. I remember being a kid, and people probably don't remember the Mad Dads. I was doing stuff with their organization, with Joe Edmonds' organization. I've been doing a lot of things, ever since I was 13 inside the community. But we've been doing radio for a long time, and now you're doing television. But when the actual television radio stations we were working for was asking for a program to kind of reach out to the community. And I always had this idea of going inside the schools and teaching the kids about hip-hop culture. They get so much negative imagery on television and on radio sometime, but they don't know nothing about the culture. So, I implemented a program that had us go into the schools and teach the kids about hip-hop culture.
Okay, now as an old white guy here, as an old white guy with a beer belly.
You gotta get a nice haircut. Nice.
You like the hair? Is that guy, then tell me about the culture, because, I don't listen to a lot of hip hop, but I have, listened to it. And that
hip hop is the culture. Rap music, coming out of New York, everyone's DJ'd before. DJ's been around forever, but
Sure.
There was a particular DJ who started playing parts of the music that a particular group of people used to love, and it was the best part of the album or the break beat of the music. And there was this particular guy who did that, and he had this following, and from that, you got this culture come out of New York that kind of spread all over the world.
And is it just a culture of the urban life? Is there something different to it?
I don't think.
I know that I've heard about the difference between East Coast and West Coast rap and all that. What?
No, well, see now there's different genres of rap. Okay, now it's still rap music, but it's different. It's like having different styles of rock and roll, different styles of country.
Right.
Rap is no different. It's just different styles of rap. But out of the DJ era came the breakbeat, But that actually spawned the rapper, because they needed someone to announce the parties, they needed someone to hype up the DJ, and that was the rapper who came out of that. And people who used to come to those parties were dancing to those great parts of those music. They were called b-boys or break dancers.
Right.
And even before any of that started, you had graffiti artists that were putting their art on the trains and all over New York, because they were trying to express themselves. So that was one of the first elements, and none of that stuff came together until after it was proclaimed a culture later in the 70s. But we go into the schools and we want to teach the kids about the positive aspect of what the culture came from. It came from love for art, love for the music, and love for the dance. That's what hip hop culture is all about.
And what how it's evolved over the years.
Yeah.
Where it used to be people like Ice-T and Snoop Dogg were looked as kind of like, the bad guys. Now they're mainstream.
Well, I don't think it was just a bad guy thing. I think they were just talking about it was their type of rap, and it was their vision of their neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
You got Fresh Prince. He came from a rough neighborhood as well, but his style of rap was about fun and having fun and parties. And you have some guys who talked about sports. It was just a different genre of music that was portrayed in rap. That's all.
I remember I was starting off as a disc jockey back a long time ago now, and we were a country station.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow we got sent a record from the Sugar Hill Gang.
Wow, see?
and put that on, and it was like, what the hell is this?
But rap music reinvented all other types of music.
Yeah.
Because even with the Sugar Hill Gang, they used chic, which was they used the chic beat, which was a group from the disco era.
Mm-hmm.
And rap takes a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, and they kind of reinvent the music that's already probably been done.
And Run DMC and Aerosmith
Walk This Way, yeah.
I mean, that became like a massive hit for both of them.
Yeah,
I mean, that really propelled both of them back up to a new level.
Again, rap music took other genres of music, mixed them together, and came up with their own style.
And it has become, mainstream now.
Yeah, it's the number one genre of music in the world still.
So when you go and talk to the kids,
Yep.
What type of response do you get? I mean, first of all, what grades are you talking to?
Man, from elementary, middle school, high school, and we do community organizations as well. But what I see when I go to the schools, when I see all type of ethnicities and I see all types of culture, when we're doing these whole schools, because we do the whole school in the gym, where we'll have 600 kids one day, we might have 800 kids one day, it might be 200 kids one day.
Yeah.
But we're talking to them head on about what the culture's about, the music, the dance, and the art. But when you're in front of kids, it's a little different from being in front of 200 to 300 adults.
Yeah.
Kids, if you got to have their undivided attention at all times when you're in front of them, and that's something that we've mastered over the past 20 years, how to express the music, the dance, and art to these children.
Do you, I'll just be real blunt about it.
Yeah.
Are you just doing this to the inner city schools, or are you going out to?
No. We any school that wants us to come to their school, and because a lot of times the principals are using us for to get the kids hyped up for testing, or just as some type of initiative they're trying to implement, and they want us to drive it home. So I always ask the principals, what would you like for us to hit on? And I always hit on, the respect factor with the parents, the teachers, and themselves. That's my main goal when I'm going in. But if they want me to say something extra, my main goal when I'm going to talk to these kids about the hip hop culture is for them to respect their parents, respect their teachers when they're there, and to mainly respect themselves. That's my message when I go to the schools.
Do you ever bring in the fact of your MMA fighting and your bare knuckle fighting? I mean,
I'm sure they look and see how with the tattoos and the bald head, they probably think I'm a tough guy. But but when it comes to kids, I'm really you care for our children. And it takes a village, and a lot of people, I don't know if they're not grasping that concept nowadays, or they're kind of going away from that. But I'm old school. You know, if I see one of your kids out there doing something goofy, I'm gonna say something to that kid. I'm not just gonna not just watch the kid do something goofy. It takes a village to take care of our kids.
When you were a kid growing up,
yeah,
did you ever get in trouble?
No, man. I never. You know, I was actually. You know, again, I was a hip hop kid. You know, I was dancing. You know, I was doing art, and I was, you know, I wanted to be part of a culture that was a positive culture, and that's why it's so important for us to go into these schools and teach these kids about that, because, you know, what you see on the internet, what you see on TV, what you see or hear on radio, you know, it's not reality. You know, this is what our culture is about, and this is what I'm gonna show you what's it about. I was, you know, pretty cool kid. I didn't do too much. You know, I was just one of those kids you just didn't mess with, though. You know, I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. So so you know, if you know anything about East St. Louis, Illinois, hey, you know, it's a pretty rough place.
Okay, so I didn't know you're from East St. Louis.
Yeah, East St. Louis, Illinois.
That is a rough place.
Yeah, we came here in the early '80s. So, yeah,
what brought you to Omaha?
We were just different opportunity. You know, East St. Louis is a small town, so, you know, coming here, we came to a bigger place.
Yeah, and your mom probably wanted to get out of East St. Louis, because you're right, that is a tough.
Yeah, it was a tough.
That is a tough place.
And to come to find out that my mother's in love with Tom Becker, I was really disappointed.
Son, I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to bring this up, son, but yes. Your mom, I love this.
See, that's making me angry. That makes me want to get up and bite your nose off, because that's the first thing she asked when I would come and talk to you. Oh, you know Tom Becker, don't you? Tell him I love his show. I'm like, I'm like, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll make sure that your mom gets a link to the podcast, you know, so that she can see.
We were gonna have to do that, okay?
I'm glad. It's good to see you. They're in Florida, right? She's living in Florida.
She's still in Florida.
All right. Good.
Yeah, she's not coming back. She likes the warm weather down there. Oh man, she left because she hated the snow. That's, you know.
You can't argue with that.
Yeah,
you can't argue with that.
No, you cannot. Not with the first MMA fighter that I stepped in the ring with, and I end up losing that one bad.
Back to the hip hop culture thing. Okay.
All right.
Before we start talking more about your mom, and then you get angry, and I call you son, and I don't want to get you ticked off. You know. But hey, you know, you're a good child. Anyway, so.
Oh, you see, on the podcast, we're gonna have a viral moment.
Keep the cameras rolling. I need the evidence. So anyway, how do you fund what you do?
Oh man, you know what? We take donations, you know, but the things that we do in school is absolutely free. You know, we've been doing it for, you know, we've been doing it for free, for the schools. For this, you know, for 20-something years, and it's just something that I wanted to do to give back to the community.
Yeah.
And there's something, you know, again, I get kids from 10, 15 years ago who will tell me, you taught us about music, dance, and art, and they're grown adults now. So that just shows me that, you know, us going into the schools and us doing that with these children are working, because when you got a grown young lady or young man come up to you and say, I remember you when you came to my school and talked about music, dance, and art. That's when we know when we're doing our job.
That's very cool.
That's cool.
Okay, so you've been doing this for 20 years, you said,
20
right?
years. In 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how has the music, dance, and art changed in that time? Because, you know, I mean, you talk about all these other music forms.
Yeah.
Country has changed, rock has changed, all that. How has the hip-hop culture changed in this time?
You know, and that's a good question, because,
Well,
you know.
that's why I'm here.
Over the decades, you know, you went from party, you know, from partying, and then, you know, you had the conscious rap. And I think right now, the way hip-hop has changed the culture, everything's accessible. You know, back then, you know, you had artists trying to get signed to major labels. Now, with the internet and the way things are structured now, you can become your own label. You can put your own music out, and you're making your own money.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are not wanting to get signed to major labels because they're making their own music and they're putting it on the internet. Lil Nas X, he started off as a independent artist.
Yeah.
When he released Old Town Road, he only had 2 verses to it. That's why Billy Ray Cyrus got on it for the 3rd verse because he only released it as a 2-verse song. And it blew him up, and he didn't need a major record label. So that's the one thing that's changed over years with rap music. But culturally, when you got people rapping on commercials now, and when you got people playing break beats, and when you got the Olympics putting in the break dancing or b-boying and
right.
in Olympics, that's when the culture has changed. When you are allowing that a street dance to be have the world stage, even though it's had the world stage for a long time anyway.
Yeah. What do you think about Ray Gun?
Oh man. You know what? That's a sensitive subject because what I think what she did, and again, if she was expressing herself, however she got there, they allowed her to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And she expressed herself, but what she did was she took away from the other folks that won. We're not talking about the winner of the guys b-boying contest, or the young ladies b-boying contest. We're talking about Ray Gun. We're not talking about the winners. We're not talking about the gold medalists, the silver medal, or the bronze. We're talking about Ray Gun. So that that was a black eye. To me, that was a black eye to the culture when you got somebody who came out like that. And again, that was her expression, and the Olympic Committee allowed it. See, that was the thing. Yeah, it's like the Tyson and
yeah,
and Paul, yeah, Jake Paul fight. That's what I think of Ray Gun, Tyson and the Jake Paul fight. Fugazi.
And you talk about the internet, so they find something like a Ray Gun, which then is like, oh, this is going to get us a lot of clicks. This will get us a lot of clicks. Whereas the winner of the competition, that's really nice. That's really nice. Hey, have you seen Ray Gun? I mean, that's trying to get people's attention more than the winner of the gold.
So even though she brought attention to the that aspect of the Olympics, but I think it was a black eye to the culture.
Yeah, you talked about now with the internet how these artists can build their reputation and everything, but was it really much different during the beginning? Because I'm thinking of, oh geez, I'm having a meltdown, a brain meltdown. You can't touch this. Who had that?
Hammer.
Yeah, Hammer. Hammer started out selling his albums on the back of his trunk.
Yeah, but see, they were doing, especially on the West Coast. The West Coast artists were already kind of doing it independently because they had the means to do so. They had record labels that were printing albums out on the West Coast. I'm not for sure what they were doing on the East Coast because they were trying to get signed, but I think they were more independent on the West Coast. So you had a lot of West Coast artists putting their stuff out independently because they had the means to do so. You come out with a song, take it to a factory there in the city, get it pressed up, and you can sell it out of your trunk. And eliminate the middleman. So they were already doing that back then.
Yeah.
But right now it's just more accessible because we got more people looking at you.
You mentioned the East Coast and the West Coast rap cultures. Is there a Midwest rap culture?
Of course, Midwest, down south, East, West. The hip hop culture is universal in the States, but again, different versions, different areas, different regions. You got Texas, that down south area. Everybody got the down south slang. Out west, you got they have that gangster style out there. East Coast is busy. Midwest, we got a mixture of everything because we've heard everything. The Midwest coast, you will have a Eminem. You will have those type of guys who come out this area because we've heard everything. So we're kind of mixed up around. So there's a culture in every region.
Wrap this up on two different things. Number one, if somebody wants to support your tour that you go to the schools, if they do that, how do they contact you? How do they get in touch?
Well, they can get in touch with me at halexanderomaha@gmail.com. If you want us to come to your school, elementary, middle school, high school, or community organization, you can get a hold of me at halexanderomaha@gmail.com. or you can give me a text because my number's public anyway. 402-612-6718. You can get a hold of me either way. And again, we're taking donations, but we don't ask for donations. You know what I'm saying? So because this is something that we're doing, for the kids. And a lot of people, I get a lot of people saying they didn't want to donate. But usually you can donate in the form of bikes because we give away bikes at every school tour. So a young lady, young man who's an exceptional student, when we get there, and for us to give away a bike at the beginning of the program, that just gives the kids more incentive to be cool kids.
And you never know the impact that's going to have on a child on the rest of his life.
There's been plenty of times we've done a school event where, I've teared up because it'd be a young man or a young lady who've never had a bike in their life.
Yeah.
And they want a bike in front of their peers right there. So, a couple of times I got choked up, man. But that's like you said, you just never know how you would impact a kid.
And I want to bring up something here with a bit of an editorial, if I may.
Okay.
We find ourselves right now finding so many ways to divide ourselves. Okay, whether it be politics or religion or sexuality or race or whatever. And I look at you and I look at me and I think, on paper, there's no way that the two of us should even be friends.
No. Not at all.
No.
Especially when my mother liking you. No. There's no way.
Oh, now your mother and I are good friends, but no way that you and I would be friends. No, but that's just it though, and that's it. And so just on the outside, on the look.
Yeah.
Much like I had such a misrepresentation of you when I first saw you coming on TV.
Yeah.
When you had the "you touch my kids, I'm going to kill you" look, and then I meet you and it's like, holy man, this guy is incredible.
Well, to conclude your editorial, again, no one would expect for us to be friends, but we've been friends for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And got a lot of things in common, and that's the respect factor that a lot of people don't understand. If you respect yourself and you respect the next person that that you come in contact with, who knows where you would be,
right?
In this world. But start by respecting people. Where you can respect their religion, you can respect their the way they are. But and to me that's where it starts. Respect is where it starts.
I'm not going to get in the ring. I'm not going to teach kids about hip hop. But I respect what you do, my friend, and I respect you.
But I appreciate, man. Again, every time we've gotten together. We use your platform to just to educate people.
Always a lot of laughs, too. Always a lot of laughs.
Man, you got a great haircut.
I think. Well, I don't think you know this. I haven't seen you in a while. I had cancer.
You told me. You told me a couple of times.
Yeah.
But you beat it.
Yeah, I beat it. Yeah, no, I'm cancer free. But with the chemo, this is how the hair came back. Whoa. So it's like, okay, so this is what I got. I got the Guy Fieri look or whatever.
You look like you belong in the Havana garage.
Well, you know what? I may just stop by there right now. Speaking of which, the podcast brought to you by Havana Garage. The good folks over there where we
all you need is a hat, a brim hat to walk in there.
Nice little Panama hat sort of a thing, yeah. Just sitting there with a cigar going, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Not talking about my mom.
No, your mom.
No.
By the way, Gladys, you raised a good son. You done good.
You said mouse string over there.
Yeah, done good. Till next time, make sure you like us, subscribe, all that stuff. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. we got a new podcast. Somebody different. You never know who's going to be coming up next. And a lot of interesting people here in this town. And I'm going to try to talk to them all. And I'm glad you joined us here on Becca's Talking.
You actually dress nicer too.
Oh, I'm a classy guy. You know.
Okay. Just for the podcast.
Actually, I just put the suit coat on. I'm wearing my Cleveland Browns. I'm wearing my Cleveland Browns shirt.
Okay. So you're really pumping your chest after they beat the Steelers the other day.
Yeah. But I put this on. Well. You and I'll talk about this.
Yeah.
But I just I couldn't support the Browns when Watson was there because they just tossed away all of their draft picks and the money and all that. It was awful.
And he got guaranteed money.
Yeah, but now there's Jameson Winston. I like this guy, and he's moving the team along.
And I'm a Raiders fan. So.
Oh, jeez. We're getting along so well. Till next time, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Take care, and bye, y'all.